Hello, all you fellow Dusty Dogs and travelers of the trails out there. My name is Dusty Yodi here for DIOT Gaming, and welcome back to Winds of Change. Last time, we got informed that while our vision is hopefully not going to come to pass, they are starting to become a little bit more accurate than I thought, and I really honestly should be loading the game right now because it takes forever. Yes, now I'm just gotta wait for this thing to load, which unfortunately could take a while. I should have done this when I was in the off-screen. Oops, my bad. I forgot about that, but we actually should be leaving... We should be leaving the town of Valinor, and we will explore the region of Valinor here in very short order. Also, I want to mention, before I go any further, I am not a... There's actually going to be an event coming up lately with regards to the release of this game coming out on the Switch. And I wanted to point this out because while I'm not one of the actual streamers involved in it, there is a lot of people who will be streaming the Switch version of the game, which actually has a lot of updates and stuff like that. That is actually being organized by Clay, so I would actually, because there's a whole bunch of new stuff that's apparently coming out for the Switch version, I would say go over and check those out as well to see what the changes are. I will be continuing with the Steam version, which is the one I have. So, again, I'm not officially part of this. I'm not, probably, one, I'm not big enough for it. Two, I'm not, yeah, no, just put it that way. I'm not big enough for that. But yeah, do go check those out, because that'll be... I like this game. I would like to see it succeed as well over on the Switch. And more to be done by smaller developers like that and independent studios. So go check it out. Okay, so we are finally here. So our last orders were from Milas to go get the blade hidden in the Great Tree. So let's go do that, because that is the only place we have not gone here yet. The Grand Tree towers above everything else in Valinor. Because of Valinor's altitude, it towers above the world. We take slow steps across the makeshift bridge, holding on to the sides. Valessa stops in her tracks, taking in the surroundings. A hint of confusion appears on her face as she breaks the silence. Stopping as well, Fortum and I listen to her words.
Alright, we really need to talk. Seer, what are your thoughts on all this? You've been totally silent since we left Milas.
Hey, Valessa, no prying. Let him open up when he wants to.
I'm just curious, that's all. It's not like Milas treated us to afternoon tea. Everything is different. Besides, venting can help.
And we already have a decision. As you can see, last time I chose kind of a neutral option, but we have A, I'd rather not talk about it actually. B, I don't know what to think, I feel lost. C, I feel invigorated, like I finally have a purpose. Or D, I'm just taking things as they come, to be honest. And yeah, this is when I forget if I actually put backseat gaming on the thing. I don't think I did. Nope, of all the tags I put, I did not put actual backseat gaming. Backseating allowed. There we go. Okay, so yes, now I went ahead and put backseating. As usual, I'll wait, I'll give it a minute or so, and then if nobody actually picks anything, I will pick something, and I will try to pick something differently than what I've chosen, but we are coming up on the part where I stopped playing, and thus, everything from here on out, everything from there on out is going to be, everything from there on out is going to be, I want the actual people to decide. Of course, again, I'm not that big. If I need to, I will actually just go ahead and just pick something if I need to. It's been about a minute. I'm going to go with... I feel invigorated, like I finally have a purpose.
You've always had purpose, actually. But I think I understand what you mean. You aren't just another seer. You're special.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just gonna be sitting around being like, okay, this happened. Something I can actually do as opposed to just a conduit. She turns back around and we continue walking. I try to admire the scenery, but that attempt is short-lived. Fortim, who had taken the lead, also stops in his tracks.
Actually, on the subject of venting, there's something I need to get off my chest. Or, I guess, there's something I need to ask you to.
Sure. What is it?
I know we don't like talking about this, and sometimes we pretend it never even happened. But we can't anymore. We're going to Museo.
Oh, yes. There's been hints, but they haven't actually talked about it yet. This is where it finally comes up.
So I think now we need to face the facts. That's the last place our parents were... I mean, they were there when it happened.
Casualties of the occupation.
Now we have the chance to fight back against the Triumvirate. They were directly responsible for what happened there. Are we doing this for Alestia? Or for ourselves?
You mean revenge? Fortim, I don't know how to answer that. All of our parents... That was so long ago.
I don't know if that makes me a bad person or not. But we can't just fight because Milas told us to. We each need a purpose, even if they're different.
I guess I want Alestia's freedom. Is that not reason enough to fight?
That's a goal, Valessa, not a purpose. Let me ask the seer, why do you fight? What weight will you carry with that blade?
Alright, so as you can see here, I chose kind of a sad option, but we do have 5 options here. So we have A, the desire to avenge our parents. Oh dear. Let me go answer that. Be right back. Make sure it's not important. Okay, I apologize for that. I'm gonna basically just say that probably nobody's gonna answer this one because I've been away for a minute, so I'm going to say I want to do something different. So what do I want to do different? I'm gonna go drive to protect my friends from danger.
Good. Tap into that drive whenever you can. Don't let any swing of your blade lack purpose. A fight without purpose is a fight you'll never win.
Fair enough. You are wiser than I would give your somewhat hyperactive self credit for.
I have more to say though, so hold on. Our parents went to Museo together, as a group of friends. Now, we're doing the same. And trust me, I'm worried. They got caught up in a fight, and we will too. But I don't want to die. I want to save Alestia. So promise me, we'll stay together. Right until the end.
I'll go ahead and give up the options again, just to make sure, in case anybody does hear. A, of course, until the end. B, I have no idea what will happen to us, though. C, you're asking me to make a promise I can't keep. D, yeah, of course, it'll be a piece of cake. Or E, just remaining silent. I don't know. Most of my choices are half reflections of me and half, like... How do I put it? Most of the choices that I made up to this point are kind of like, I kind of hit the young adult novel thing that I joked about in the last session. So I kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what would happen. If this was an actual, like, if I was reading this as a young adult novel, it would be like, yeah, it would be totally like that. Additionally, while I keep saying young adult novel, that's just the easy way for me to put it. It could get violent later. It could get bloody later. The way the sword works seems to not make that the case, but I don't know. I've only played 3 hours. We're actually hit 3.5 hours, but that's because I've been stopping to allow other people to input. Okay, I have nobody here. I am going to go with... I have no idea what will happen to us, though.
But we're still friends, right? And no matter what, friends stick together. So let's get that blade and head to Museo.
I feel bad every time I make Fortum sad, I will be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm about ready to get off this bridge. Not exactly the best place for a heart-to-heart. Though, honestly, I'm glad you opened up. And actually, I think I found my purpose. I want to fight to protect my closest friends. So, about that promise, I'll be here, right until the end.
I nod, and they smile at one another. A few moments later, we continue our trek to the Grand Tree. This time, however, we reach our goal with no interruptions. As soon as we enter, we all spread out. Perhaps covering more ground would help us find it easier. However, much to our surprise, it's out in the open.
Wait, that's it?
It's wrapped up in a sack in front of the Grand Tree's altar. The general shape and size was easily discernible to me. It was the instrument of my death, and Valinorth's destruction.
There's a letter attached to it. Let's see what it says.
Wait, hold on. I don't think we're supposed to touch it. We should probably leave this one to the seer.
I'm sure it's fine as long as it's covered up. Very well. Feel free to do the honors.
They both look at me, leaving me little choice in the matter. It's not like they had any choice in this either, however. Taking slow steps to the altar, I look down at the letter.
Well, what does it say?
I kneel down and pull off the letter, breaking some adhesive. It's from Milas, and it gives us a bit more information. None of us have really left Valinorth, so guidance is helpful.
Instructions from Milas. Thank you for following my directions. It's good to know we'll be able to work with each other on this grand endeavor. Hidden inside this package here is the blade we talked about earlier, otherwise known as the Blade of Exodus. I'm not sure why it's been given such a name, but it was the Triumvirate's choice. As soon as you take it, please ensure that it never leaves your sight. A guide, Zamira, will be waiting for you on Main Street. He'll guide you to Peregrino, where you'll meet up with Pro, a trusted ally and longtime rebel. From there, Pro will guide you to Museo. Pro might seem a bit incompetent at first, but he's simply been following my orders. Having him come here and get you, as Damek originally planned, was much too risky. Instead, I told him to pass time in the tavern until you bring the blade to him. I had Zamira meet him in the dead of night in Valinorth's outskirts to retrieve the blade and bring it to where you are now. This way, no villagers were aware, and there was no chance of complications arising. I'm sure Damek will understand this delay. One final thing. I authorize you with access to Solberg, now that you know its secret. Feel free to stop there on your journey.
Oh yeah, Solberg actually is the home of Valinor's spirit idol, which apparently went out on the birth of the current seer. Just used up all its magic power in one go and just boom, there we go. Boom, like freaking mad. I put the letter in my pocket and look at Fortum and Valessa. It seems that our next objective was clear. Much better than before. If Mila simply threw us into the wild, we'd get lost immediately.
The Blade of Exodus. That's a bit of a weird name, isn't it? Do you think that's the person who made it?
I doubt it.
Or maybe it's a title for whoever wields it. You know, something like Seer or Cirrus. What about it? Should we call you Exodus?
Alright, so we have a new choice here. A, that's such a stupid name, Fortum. B, I like the sound of that, actually. Or C, let's just stick with Schmarlem. I don't know. To me, that seems weird. It's probably the purpose of it, like causing a soul, like based on the dream vision from part 1, causing him to like a soul to leave their body to exodus from its original home. So yeah, I doubt it's anything to do with that. How is my mic? Is my mic fine? It is. I get worried. I've been having technical issues in recent days. I'm just gonna go with my old one. Let's just stick to a Schmarlem.
Yeah, especially if the triumvirate wants it back. Walking around as Exodus would put a huge target on us. That's not something we can afford if we want to blend in.
And I did completely forget that, but Valessa to me makes an outstanding point with that. Like, why are we calling ourselves Exodus? It puts a... Hey, he's probably got it.
Alright. Forget I suggested it. Let's get out of here before we waste too much time. We're supposed to meet someone named Zamira, right?
I know them. They typically guard the town gate. No better person to carry out a secret mission in the night. I'm glad we'll have a guide. I was starting to worry we'd get lost.
Yeah, none of us have ever left Valanorth before. I'm sure it'll be great. We can even check out Salberg. Grab the Blade Seer. The villagers would never question you.
I nod. As a seer, they wouldn't care what I carried. But I can understand it if they saw an outsider with this blade. Midas' plan of using Zamira was definitely the best course of action. As we ventured to Museo, however, some people might stare. But we're in a group, so I doubt they'd try anything. I pity the person who picked a fight with the Blade of Exodus. I carefully unwrap the package. The sight of the weapon causes me to tense up. I can almost feel the pain of last night's vision. Valessa and Fortum looked down, seeing it for the first time. I exchange glances with them before my eyes return to the blade. I grip it for the first time, and that's when everything changes. With a blinding flash of white light, I fall back. Landing on the floor, I'm unable to see or move. It isn't much longer until I can't breathe either. I hear Valessa and Fortum call out to me, but as my senses are robbed, their shouts slowly fade. A series of visions play out before me, and I can do little but watch.
You mean this was all just a trap? No, I don't believe it. I'm not giving up.
To think all of that was stored in this. After we tell the people, everything will change.
We will aid you in this fight, but you are no longer a rebellion. Today, you become something much more.
Wait! Think about what you are doing. Without us, there is no freedom.
Don't worry, nothing personal. Just playing with the hand I've been dealt.
The shattered man approaches me with a dagger in his hand. I can't fight back. I can just watch as he sinks it into my gut. Soon after, I'm paralyzed on the ground. I can hear him laughing. I gasp for air as I grip the spot where he stabbed me. Lessa and Fortum let out huge sighs of relief. In my other hand, I hold the blade of Exodus tightly. I throw it across the room as I slowly regain my breath. They help me rise to a sitting position. The concern on their face is clear. Thankfully, I'm able to relax before they decide to question me.
What happened?
The blade. It gave me visions.
Wait, how is that possible? The spirits are the ones who give visions. Could it have something to do with your energy?
Valessa, it doesn't matter. For now, we just need to make sure he's safe.
Oh, right, sorry. Will you be okay? Can you move?
I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Miles left a change of clothes for you. It was tucked underneath the blade, see?
She points to the package that held the blade. Resting there is a set of battle-ready clothing. A holster or scabbard is built into the back.
Maybe Milos knew that touching it was risky. If you wear this outfit, you can sheath the blade. It might be best to conceal it and minimize contact.
Wait, then why didn't he tell us that? Seems like a stupid thing to leave out.
I guess you have a point. Oh, well, I'm glad that things are fine. You should go get changed, Seer.
She tilts her head to an alcove at the back of the grand tree. I guess it would prove sufficient privacy, so I grab the clothes. They turn their backs to me as an extra gesture of consideration. It looks like a mixture of Valessa and Fortim's outfit. Made of flexible material, it was clearly ready for a fight. The scabbard is adjustable. I could position it for my dominant hand. I myself am a right hand, so I will go and prepare the blade for right-handed access. I tilt it to the right for easy access with my right hand. Not that I expected it to be touching the blade all too often. When the rest of the outfit is on, I walk back into the open.
Whoa, that looks really good on you. A lot more fitting than that fancy suit.
That's everything we need then? I mean, aside from the blade?
We all look to where I threw it earlier. Before we left, I'd have to touch it again. I could sense the anxiety within my friends.
Look, whatever happens, we're here for you. I doubt it'll be as bad as last time. And you're fine.
You could have worded that a bit better, but there was truth to it. It was such a shock last time because I didn't expect it at all. But I was the seer of Valinor. I was meant to wield this blade. I slowly walk towards it, kneeling down when I get there. Whatever happened this time, I wouldn't let it control me. As I grab it, I remind myself that I am one with the spirits. The white light overtakes me again, but that's all. I can still move, breathe, and sense my surroundings. Deep within me, I feel a connection defying explanation. It's beautiful, and I'd like to stay this way forever. Unfortunately, the feeling soon turns into something more. In a matter of seconds, the source of beauty is one of fright. I quickly sheathe the blade. Yeah, I'm having trouble with my words today. I quickly sheathe the blade to prevent any damage. Whatever that was, doing it for too long would hurt me. It seems that using this weapon would require some practice.
Well, that looked fine to me. You didn't end up on the floor at least.
Okay, we got a two-choice decision here. Yeah, it was a piece of cake, A, or B, it still hurt me, I need to take it easy. It's one of those weird issues where it's like, okay, yeah, it still hurt me, but would it be better to be confident with it, at least? Confident might help me do things later, but I don't know. I myself am rather cautious. I'm the sort of person if I'm doing any work in the yard, I need gardening gloves because I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be exposed. Okay, looks like I'm not getting anybody, so I'm going to use my initial response. It still hurt me. I need to take it easy.
Whoa, really? Milas was right then. It takes strength. Remind me not to touch that thing anytime soon.
I'm curious to learn more about it. Like, where it came from and who made it. Hopefully we figure that out along the way. So, should we get going? Or is there anything else we need to do?
We're supposed to meet Zamira on Main Street, but we should save that until we're ready to leave. One last look around Valinor couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Wouldn't want to leave anything behind.
Classic, hey, you're leaving, you're probably not coming back for a while, you might as well make sure you got everything while you're here. A new feature, Party Banter, has been unlocked. Following this text box, a brief tutorial will display. Previous areas of Valinor have been updated. Party Banter. While you can talk to your party members, they can also talk amongst themselves. Icons on the top right show which combination of characters is looking to talk. Click one of the two icons to listen in. And we can now leave Valinor via the world map. Clicking the icon near exit will meet up with Zamira. The icon leading to Main Street will function as normal. Alright, so yeah. A couple of things that I wanted to point out about the last about that vision sequence. Based on some of the voices alone, I can tell who was speaking when. And it seemed to be Fortum, Domik, Grizz, and the last one, I think, sounded like Pro? I don't know. The thing is, we're also receiving these things without context. So, who knows whether or not these are going to be a lighthearted thing or a fucking dark thing when we actually get to them. Okay, we have quite a few pieces here to actually add to. First of all, also I wanted to note that if we would do the Grand Tree, we would find nearly the exact same things as if we had as we did when we went to Milus's office. Some of the description areas of the Grand Tree are a little bit different, but otherwise the exact same thing would be found. The exact same piece would be found. The exact same book or whatever that we found would be here regardless. So it doesn't matter. And if we went here instead of Milus's, then Milus would still have those books in his study because we weren't looking for those. Essentially, they picked... It's like the one notation that we got describing the connection of the leader of Valinor to the Rebel Alliance is the one thing that we would have found in either location. So we weren't missing anything doing that route. I believe after here is when it starts to actually get convoluted, and after this point is when I'm assuming that most of our choices are actually going to affect something. So having gotten that out of the way, we have quite a few things that we can do here. Let us start with the Shane Chronicle. Yes, we shall. Shane paced around his prison cell, feeling the walls, looking for any structural weakness, anything he could use. He'd been in here far too long, and the isolation was messing with him.
Come on, Shane, there's gotta be something. You were supposed to break out of here ages ago. This mission is a bust. Domik must be worried sick.
He knocked on the hard wall of the cell and found nothing. He'd been here ever since Domik assumed control of the rebellion. His objective was to get caught on purpose and scan their castle. But his intel would do little good if this was his final resting place.
Come on, you need to do this. Nobody else has come through here and lived. You're gonna be the first, Shane. I know it.
A voice sounds from the doors of the prison. Sovi enters, laughing at what he just witnessed.
Ooh, looks like you're taking this worse than I thought. I need to talk with you, Shane, so come close.
And what makes you think I'll listen?
We haven't yet broken out the torture. But trust me, you're walking a fine line.
Whatever, just make it quick. I hate the sound of your voice. That, and I was enjoying my time alone.
You really don't care whether you live or die. Good. I like that in a potential soldier of mine.
Wait, what?
Name your weapon proficiencies.
You're the one who caught me, Sovi. You should know full well what weapons I use.
I said proficiencies. Remember how easily I took you down?
Fine. I'm good with a bow. I can play with daggers too, but not as well. Just give me some arrows and point to a target.
Shane felt a sense of hope rise within him. If Sylvie tried to recruit him, he could gain more intel. It wouldn't be hard to miss his shots on purpose. Unfortunately, his hopes were immediately destroyed.
Good. I'll have no problem finding you a bow. We're leaving on a mission, so follow me. You'll be seeing your allies sooner than you thought. Wait, are you smiling? Shane, I don't think you know what's happening. Taking you with me? This is your punishment.
Huh?
Yes. I'll line up a few of your allies. then you'll show me how well you handle a bow. If you don't obey, I'll make you suffer. And if you do obey, well, your friends will think you've defected. They'll give up all hope of rescuing you. Then I can keep you here as long as I like. I know you may not fear death, Shane, which is why I'll give you something far worse. Now, come with me. There's much to discuss. And remember what will happen if you disobey. It's time to realize that you belong to me.
Alright, so Sylvie's got some terrible shit planned for Shane. Anyways, we're going from that dark scene. Let's have Valessa and Fortum have a conversation.
Wow, it's so beautiful inside the Grand Tree. Too bad they rarely let the scribe in training come here. I wish I had more time to spend in Valenorth.
Actually, that's not a scribe in training rule. It was more like a Fortum rule. No offense.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're not exactly a quiet person. This is a sacred place, and silence is essential.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have been quiet, I promise. Just like when I go to the library.
Hey, I don't make up the rules, but honestly, I wish I would have fought it. I didn't realize our time here would be so limited. I thought we'd be here until we were old and gray. But to think that Valenorth would just be a small face? You're not the only one who has regrets, Fortin.
At least you were allowed inside. I was kept out because of my big mouth. Well, I guess I'm the only one to blame. I'll try to watch my mouth from now on.
I give you 10 minutes, tops.
Hey!
Alright, little playful banter. Alright, so now that's it. Because we already have the book, and we already have everything else. Oh yeah, shit, there's stuff here too. Oh yeah, because I gotta go to the world map. So now... Ooh, there's new shit over here. Sovi 3. Sovi stood in front of the Triumvirate's castle. With Shane at his side, everything was set in motion. Halen was late, likely learning the same truth from his masters. But as soon as he arrived, their plan of attack would commence.
We can sail to Mazeo in under a day. There's a ship waiting for us at the Balteus docks. As soon as Halen arrives, we'll be free to go.
Odd choice of words. I highly doubt I'll be free to go. Though I'm a little excited that Halen is coming along. He was much better than you, more threatening as well.
Shane, this isn't about being threatening. It's about who can put their foot down when they need to. Halen is all talk. Lots of promises, but no follow-through.
Well, you haven't given him time.
Right, of course. Thanks for the heads up. I'll remember that next time he tries interrogating me. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you didn't like him.
I doubt he's long for this world. A Grand Inquisitor needs to be more than talk. That, and I work much better when I'm alone.
Working alone, huh? I don't think that's a very good idea. What if you get into a bind? Who'd help you then?
I don't get into binds, Shane. I'm more in the habit of putting them on others.
Ooh, kinky.
Yeah, we'll see how far that gets ya. So, what's the plan anyway? Attacking Valenorth? You want the blade back, Halen made it pretty clear.
Now, why would I tell you that? Don't assume camaraderie between us.
Fine, just trying to get involved.
So you can write to your rebel friends, no doubt. Don't try anything, Shane. I'm watching you. Besides, Valenorth is an insignificant part of our plan. When we're finished, Alestia will be forever changed.
Alright, and we now have a Domic. Domic 3. The tunnels underneath Mazeo were quiet, almost eerily so. Grizz and Dominic met in secret, not deep enough to run into trouble. Any further, though, and they'd cross paths with the Triumvirate's honor guard.
I guess that settles it. The deed is yours. You have lots of work to do, Dominic. What comes first?
Why is my mouse being weird? Sometimes it doesn't want to move that far, and I don't know why.
Lots of dusting, I presume. Though there's something odd about these tunnels. The honor guard has no need to eat, sleep, or socialize. Being empty suits of armor, they need none of that. But go any deeper and you'll see an entire hideout. Bedrooms, training rooms, a library, and more.
Maybe that's why they never found what we were after. They were too busy building some sort of utopia.
Why do you look like you're crossing your eyes constantly when you do that?
It'll be easy to fortify against attacks. They've practically done it for us already. I just wish I knew why. It's so peculiar.
I have a theory of my own, actually.
And what is that?
You know how those things are created, yes? The Grand Inquisitor and that life-stealing sword. Well, he was at my side when we occupied Mazeo.
I see.
The members of the Honor Guard that wander these tunnels. I think they're the spirits of those we killed, Dominic. Perhaps they just want to continue living. It's heartbreaking.
That's an understatement. But it explains the beds and living quarters. And if they retain some memory, they'd hate the Triumvirate.
Yeah, which is why they never completed their job. Or at the very least, intentionally threw their progress.
A theory with merit, I'll give you that much. But now we found what you're after, what happens? I think you should tell me what you really want with it.
You can think all you want, but it won't happen. Just know that I'm looking to make up for something. I can never undo the occupation, but I have an idea.
Very well. Whenever you're ready.
Admittedly, Domic's face looks adorable when he does that.
As long as I have the deed, I'm satisfied. When the seer arrives, however, I'd love to hear more.
Okay, now it said some stuff had changed, which I'm assuming means a couple of partner conversations, so I'm gonna check around for those real quick before we actually leave. Alright, nothing here. Oh shit! Great tree. I didn't check if there was a... There's not. Okay. Ah, where'd it go? Mouse is going all over the place. There we go. Okay, so let's try Town Square. Yep, there is a Valessa and Fortem conversation in the Town Square.
So, this might be the last time we see the town square. Is there anything we should do before we go?
I guess one last drink would be nice. The water from Valinor is always so pure. Want to share some with me, Valessa?
Sure. We can use the cups I left here earlier. I was just finishing my water run when we all met up.
So, what should we toast to?
Toast?
Yeah, and this is a big day, right? We should probably drink to something. Especially if it's the last time we might be here.
Oh, let's see. What about new beginnings? Or something like being with friends?
What about new beginnings with friends? I think that's rather fitting for us.
Sounds good to me. To new beginnings with friends. May our bonds never break.
Something that occurred to me here that I don't remember it entirely, so I might be wrong. Fortim, when he joined, said Fortim has now permanently joined your party. Did Valessa say the same? Or did Valessa just say, Valessa has joined? I have already that was a week ago, but I have totally forgotten if that was the case. But a little tiny detail like that could turn this whole conversation, to me at least, would turn this whole conversation upside its head. Like, because to me that implies, like, Fortim is the only one who might actually stick with us through this entire thing. So far. And yet, I don't know what's gonna happen to Felicity yet. I don't know. It's kind of making me panic a little bit, though. Oh, that was the end of the conversation. Okay. Alright, how about Main Street? There is a Valessa and Fortim conversation here.
Hey, Fortim. Remember those apples you used to love?
Yeah, how could I forget? You can't get them anymore, though. The Triumvirate put a trading ban on Mazeo.
Remember that time I tricked you? I painted a bunch of rocks red and put them in a basket. I told you the trading ban was lifted. You were ecstatic.
Yeah, and that was really mean. My parents used to give them to me before, you know. That made me cry more than you'd think.
Interesting. Valessa is a little bit of a prankster streak that Fortim used. That I would probably more associate with Fortim in other situations.
Yeah, and I just wanted to apologize. This whole ordeal has me thinking about the past. I wish I spent my time in Valinor a bit better.
Also makes me realize that straight-laced Valessa apparently tried to play a prank.
Oh, well, I accept your apology. Better late than never, right?
Yeah, of course. Once we get to Mazeo, I'll buy you some for real. An apology is lame. I'm gonna make up for what I did.
Aw, that's sweet. Alright, yeah, why is my mouse moving slowly? Probably because I have a ton of programs up. Okay, I am pretty much sure that there's nothing in the house, but I'll just check. Yep, nope, nothing. Nothing here. So we have gotten everything we need. We've checked everything out. Excuse me. It's time to exit Valinor, finally. Would you like to leave? Yes, continue story. We head back to Main Street in search of Zamira. The Blade of Exodus is strapped to my back, and it's heavy. Glances from the townspeople show that they're aware of this artifact. However, being who I am, they raise no concerns to my face.
So, Valessa, do you see him anywhere? I don't know what he looks like, so this is on you.
Give me a second, I'm gonna reposition my table here a little bit. There we go. Table that the mic is sitting on.
Yeah, sorry, I'll point him out. I'm just not used to the villagers staring like this. A blade really makes us stand out, doesn't it?
Or maybe they're just admiring our good looks. Come on, Valessa, don't be so uptight. Nobody knows what this blade can do. Let him stare.
We have a shit ton of witnesses if Sylvie ever actually does get to Valinor. That's not good. She gives Fortim no response as she scans the area. It's true, they could stare, but they didn't know. To them it was just a cool sword. Something new. Valinor could be pretty stagnant and short of excitement.
Wait, I see him.
She points to a man standing near my house. He has his back against it and taps his foot on the ground. I guess he knew where I lived. Milos must have told him.
Hey, Zamira, how's your watch going?
His ears perk up, and he starts to approach us. A huge smile on his face as he quickly closes the distance.
Hey, Valessa, long time no see. Can't complain, things are pretty much the same. This is the most excitement I've had in years.
Okay. A few things. I'm assuming he's supposed to be a deer of some sort, given the antlers. But blue? And pads. What are you supposed to be? He looks me up and down before staring at the blade. Something told me he wouldn't stay quiet like the villagers.
Whoa, that thing looks pretty cool. I've heard a few stories, but didn't get to see it. You'll have to tell me more as we head to Peregrino.
Wait, hold on. I have a few questions to ask.
Oh, sure. Let's walk and talk. If I'm not mistaken, we're on a schedule.
You points toward the gate leading out of Valinor. Fortum speaks his mind as we start walking over.
So, you know what's coming, right? I just need to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do. But Milas has a plan to keep everyone safe, and at the very least, we have a few days to prepare.
I'm confused, though. He knew about this attack, and from what he said, he's known for a while. Why give up Valinor? Why not fortify and prepare?
I apologize, I will be right back. Nature calls, and unfortunately, I cannot hold it in any longer, so... I will be back in like a minute or two. Okay, there we go. I'm back. 75% of a cup of coffee and a whole bunch of water. I was holding it in there for a while. In the hour before I got up. In the hour before I started, so that was... I was holding it for a while. Okay, we're good though. So yeah, why give up Valinor? Why not fortify and prepare?
Actually, I heard something about that. Damek, the leader of the rebels, had a vision. Apparently, that blade is more than just a weapon.
Wait, other people can use it then?
No one else has tried, to be honest. But in his vision, he saw the triumvirate fall. The cost was clear. Valinor fell as well.
So hold on a moment. The seer gets a vision. The people of Valinor do whatever they can to make sure that vision does or does not come to pass. The leader of the rebels has a vision when he touches the blade. Nobody tries to do anything against it.
Who says they both need to happen? We could take them down without abandoning Valinor. Isn't it a little short-sighted to do something like that?
Also, based on what I saw, like the vision when I touched the sword, when the seer touched the sword, is fractured as was fractured as hell. Like potentials?
We don't really know for sure, Valessa, but it sure makes sense to replicate what he saw. That way, the rebellion's victory is guaranteed. Besides, Milas will evacuate everyone that's willing. Valinor can be resettled in the future. I know it. I just worry about those who don't buy into the story.
What do you mean?
Well, some people will be stubborn. We can't force them to leave. We just encourage it. Those that stay behind, well, there's nothing we can do.
That's true. And it lines up with the vision. The seer mentioned that lots of villagers perished. Isn't there something we can do to help them cooperate?
We should focus on ourselves, Valessa. There's no point wasting time on something we can't change. Let's get away from these prying ears. I have some more news.
He smiles as we approach the exit of Valinor. News. In our current situation, that doesn't sound promising. With curiosity piqued, we follow Zamira with haste. You're about to visit the Valinor region map. Story flow of the area is the same as before. However, you now have access to optional side areas. These are indicated by a question mark near the map icon. It's not a question mark, I think it's the little hourglass thing. So yeah, we can now go to East Crown. We can go back to Village if we want. And we can go to Valinor Forest. I am going to start by going to East Crown. Taking a small detour, we decide to check out East Crown. The cold is overwhelming, so we huddle by the torchlight.
Oh my gosh, this is intense. I've heard the stories, but I thought they were exaggerating. We shouldn't stay here too long. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Ugh, Fortin, don't be so dramatic. I'm sure we have time to examine the area. Just don't go in any further, alright?
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. Look, I can see my breath. How cool is that?
I'll admit, that is pretty cool. Barely out of Valinor and already seeing new stuff. I'm guessing it has something to do with the cold?
My god, they are like children joined in the cold weather and seeing the fog.
It's insane. I can't believe how much the spirits help us. Without their power, this is what Valinor would look like. They keep us warm and let our village fight off the cold.
If Milas is right, then this is Valinor's future. It's only setting in now that I see it for myself. There must be something we can do to save our village.
I sure hope so. Let's take a quick look around. It'd be dangerous to stay here for too long.
He inches closer to the torch, keeping himself warm. Valessa and I don't seem too bothered and start looking around. Now there's a book here. God knows where it is because I have searched this area before and I cannot find it for the life of me. The mountains go up so high it's amazing. It's a shame that nobody will ever reach the top. Maybe we aren't meant to find out East Crown's secrets. Methinks we might be able to come back here later, but... I take a few steps down the trail, but immediately turn back. It actually hurts to breathe. I didn't know nature could be so hostile. I shrug and turn back to my friends. We may never know East Crown's secrets. Let's see, is there anything else over here? Torchlight! Valessa and Fortim are huddled beside the torch. Truth be told, I was cold as well. This place is intense. I finally understand why it's remained unmapped so long.
Hey, move it, Valessa! You're hogging all the heat.
No way! Your outfit is much warmer than mine.
True, Fortim's has sleeves.
It doesn't matter. Do you want me to die or something?
Are you sure you want the answer to that question?
What?
They continue arguing as I walk away from the torch. We probably shouldn't spend too much time in East Crown. We have a long journey ahead. We can't succumb to the cold. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and... What? Oh. I already seen that one, so... Let's go to the world map. Now hopefully we'll be able to go there later and actually like find a book or something, because I can't! I don't know where it is. Alright, let's go to Valinor Forest. We enter the outskirts of Valinor and take in deep breaths. The air is so fresh and pure, it's almost hard to explain. However, enjoyment is hindered by Zamira's worried look.
Well, what's the news? Is everything okay, Zamira?
I guess everything is fine. Technically. It's just something I need to tell you in private. The villagers will have enough on their plates tonight.
So it's something that affects them too?
More than that, actually. Look, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm sure Valinor will be resettled in the future.
I keep hearing it as resettled, as opposed to resettled. Like this is RESEHLED. I don't know if that's me or if it's the guy or if it's the person pronouncing it. I don't know, but I keep hearing that. It might be me, because I also have these headphones down really low. So I can hear if, like, the dog needs any... So I can hear if our inside dog needs anything, or if I can hear if, the phone rings again. So I have the headphones down kind of low, so it might just be me.
I'm glad you think so, Zamira. I was starting to worry about everything. It seems like Milas has everything under control.
Yeah, about that, this is where it gets a little awkward. You see, he didn't really tell you everything.
Also, the fact that my pointer is a sword just makes me want to go up to Fortim and do the sword thing. The hot poker thing with the cat. Especially because I still cannot see him as anything other than a cabot.
What? Really?
This is starting to get pretty overwhelming. He seemed pretty open. What was he hiding? I don't think I can handle another revelation.
It was probably too embarrassing for him to admit, but he doesn't really want to lead Valenorth anymore. He told me when he gets to Mazeo, he's staying for good.
That can't be true.
Woo! Amidst everything else, we now also have a succession crisis.
He was doing such a good job.
He was, but I understand where he's coming from. It's possible to be good at something you don't enjoy. He deserves a fresh start, a pursuit of his own choosing.
You seem like a bit of a scientist, so I'm pretty sure he'd find plenty of places like that in Mazeo, so, you know, it's good for him if he can find something like that, but...
I guess so. Then, what about resettling Valenorth? Who'd be in charge when that happens?
People would migrate back too slowly. We'd be in no shape to hold a formal election. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that means...
Bingo.
The seer.
Does somebody want to fill me in?
Matters of Valenorth's future. With no elder, they're under the jurisdiction of the seer. Believe it or not, he gets to choose the next leader.
Okay, the first one of you that actually says my name Schmarlem as opposed to just the seer in voice dialogue gets it.
A contingency plan for special cases like this. The only condition is that you can't choose yourself. Your duty and role in Valenorth is already well established. Take your time, evaluate the candidates, and think about it. Again, it's not really bad news, it's just another change.
There's really nothing to think about, though. Choose me, then I won't be the third wheel anymore. We can be a trio, and work together all the time.
Hey now, let's not jump to conclusions. I think I'd be a fine candidate for elder. Fortum was trained to fill the gap I'd leave.
Okay, now you're both acting like petulant children, and I thought that was beneath you, Valessa, and Fortim, you should act better than that.
Oh my. I should have expected this. Sorry to put you in an awkward situation.
The more awkward situation is I still can't figure out your species.
It's only awkward if Valessa makes it awkward.
Whatever.
You are acting like teenagers. They cross their arms and turn away from each other. Fighting over an opening that was only revealed seconds ago? I could understand their passion, but we needed unity right now.
Look! This might not be relevant for years to come. There's no need to argue about this. Stay focused. We have a really important job on our hands, you know?
Thank you, you fine whatever you are, for at least staying on track. They don't respond and simply retain their pose. Their passion for Valenorth is admirable but intrusive. We had a clear goal, and now things are getting muddled.
None of you know where Peregrino is, right? If I start walking without you, you'll get lost. I'll give you a few minutes, but I'm on a schedule.
The threat makes them both turn back around.
Good. That's what I thought. Take a few moments to talk amongst yourselves. But when you're ready to go, we need to move as fast as we can.
I see why you were placed in the guard. That was a very good position for you.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Zamir rests against a nearby tree and lets out a loud sigh. He was just relaying information. The fallout wasn't his to deal with. We have a few minutes to spare. I should make the most of it. Okay, we have quite a bit of crap here, so let's start off with the Parallel Chronicles. Domic 4. Domic returned to the surface with Grizz at his side. The older man took a deep breath, enjoying the fresh air. It was a little stuffy down there, but they could make do.
Digging tunnels underneath their own church. I guess it makes sense. Nobody really comes here. Museo isn't exactly known for its pious people.
Easy to get away with. Though I have to say, it's pretty ironic. The rebellion settling in the Triumvirate's church.
A bit poetic, isn't it? Maybe after this we can settle in their castle.
One step at a time. Let's not get carried away. I'll write them and let them know what we found. After all these years, I'm not sure how to feel.
Relieved, with a side of being terrified. At least that's how I feel about all of this. Finding another spirit idol. This changes everything.
I always assumed that was the idol, at the altar. It was always so dim. We just thought that it was dying, but it was receiving power from something deep underground. It's nice to know that the theories were correct. The search was starting to feel like a lost cause.
The only lost cause is their pursuit of conquest. Let them know what you found. Let's get things started.
What are you planning, Domic?
I'll let you know tomorrow if everything goes well. I have to prepare for the arrival of our special guest. But trust me, I've put a lot of thought into this plan.
You've earned my trust.
Grizz nods before leaving the church. Domic, now alone, approaches the altar. He smiles as he places a hand upon it.
It won't be long until the Triumvirate sends their forces. If I'm lucky, they might even come to see it for themselves.
His smile turns into more of a sinister smirk.
Right now, they're busy with Valenorth. But by the time they reroute, my army will be in place. When they set foot underground, we'll kill them all.
Alright. A bit nefarious, it seems, but we'll see how this alternate version of events plays out with regards to Domic's plan. Anyway, we have Halen 1. Halen finally caught up with his master. He was slightly out of breath, having run a great distance. But his annoyance outweighed anything. He was lied to.
Sophie, explain yourself immediately. You told me to wait in the castle atrium. If I did that, you would have left without me.
Oh, did I really say that? I'm sorry. I must have gotten carried away with our prisoner. How did your meeting with the Triumvirate go, Halen?
They refused to tell me these secrets. Something about my loyalty not being strong enough.
Well, look at it this way, Halen. The mission we're going on is very important. No better way to prove your loyalty to the cause.
I guess you're right. But I don't like being left in the dark.
Then you'll get along great with Shane. He's been pestering me with questions all day.
I don't fraternize with prisoners.
Whatever you say.
Sophie walks away, laughing in a mocking fashion. Halen and the prisoner slowly follow suit.
You know, we have a long boat ride ahead of us. Might not be a bad time to start fraternizing.
Did I stutter, Shane? Leave me be.
Oh, you think you're better than me, right? Well, here's some food for thought, apprentice. You're more a prisoner to the Triumvirate than I am.
What did you just say?
Neither of us will know true freedom. We're nothing but a means to an end. They'll kill you the moment you disobey. We have no choice but to follow orders. The difference is, you do this willingly. I have no idea why. You seem smart to me.
Interesting. Shane showing a little bit of dissent. Alright, let's talk. Oh goodness, there's a lot of talking in this one. Let's have Valessa and Zamira talk with each other. Actually, no, we'll save them for afterwards. Let's start with Valessa. Time for candidate interviews.
Hey.
So you want to be the next elder.
Yeah, of course I do. If I become elder, then Fortin can take over as your scribe. It seems like the logical course of action, doesn't it? We need to figure out how to save Valinor. After the attack, we can rebuild from the ashes. But I also want to solve our problem with the spirits. Once we restore our connection, we'll be fine. After that, it's just a matter of what we do with our nation. I'm not really a fan of what Milos and his father did.
What would you do differently?
Well, they sacrificed Valinor's independence. That was the one thing that set us apart, made us unique. If we lose that, we lose Valinor's very soul. I want to keep our line of seers going. We can't lose our heritage. I'd ensure that we remain nonpartisan, just like always. Look at all the trouble these alliances have given us.
Alright, we have 3 options here. A, you're right, it's more trouble than it's worth. B, Valessa, we need to unite so we can be strong. Or C, I'm not sure which is better, honestly. See, now the funny thing to me is, I won't, but I could draw parallels to, a lot of stuff currently going on right now. I don't want to delve too far into the realm of politics on my streaming thing because this is what I use to get away from it, but I do admit that there's been a lot of stuff in games that I see lately where I'm just like, I see parallels and I don't like them. Can't be helped though, I guess. Me personally, I did say this one and use the neutral path last time, but I'm going to say, Valessa, we need to unite so we can be strong.
Strength doesn't come from numbers, though. It comes with the ability to be ourselves, to express what's inside. Without our independence, we're no different from anyone else.
We're kind of conflicting ourselves here, Valessa. Because numbers is how we're getting to Peregrino. Numbers is about how we're supposed to go to Mazeo. Anywho.
Our line of seers would lose meaning. Our forests would be cut down. After a few decades, we'd be no different from Mazeo. We can't lose this beauty. I'll fight to keep it safe.
How would you restore our connection?
I don't know, but if it's possible, I'll do it. I'll look for reading material when we get to Mazeo. Or if we ever find ourselves in Baltus, there's the Grand Library. Remember, that power still exists within you. After we defeat the Triumvirate, it won't just vanish. There must be a way to put it back into the Spirit Idol.
Alright. Option A, you're right, we'll find a way together. Or B, what if it's not possible, Valessa? Especially considering I did actually treat this as kind of like candidate interviews. I did take the devil's advocate position as that would be like the... Okay, but I need you to have an extra thing. I need you to actually, like, have a backup plan. If that doesn't work, what is your backup plan? Like, that seems to be an important thing if you're elder. I was trained in industrial organizational psychology. Literally, this is my fucking field of experience. Is designing interviews to tease out the best candidates. Or designing methods of finding who the best candidate for a workplace is. That literally is my my training and my whole schooling was that. All right, nobody's responding, so I will just do. What if it's not possible?
Nothing is impossible, you know. It's just something people say when they don't want to try. If we put all of our effort into it, we can save Valinor.
I think one of my favorite I listened to the "Nothing is impossible," you know, line, and just like the last time I went through this, which by the way, once I finish this off, we are actually getting into new content for me. I heard "Nothing is impossible," and all I could think of is from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie. That's impossible. No, just very, very improbable. Whenever the infinite improbability drive comes up. Are you sure Valinor isn't a lost cause?
What? Why would you say something like that? It's not like you to give up so easily. We'll come back from this stronger than ever.
Why would I say something like that? 1, did you fucking see what happened with East Crowd over there? And 2, it's my job to make sure you're qualified. So I'm gonna ask you the tough questions.
In fact, I'm so certain I'm changing the subject. I refuse to talk about such negative things.
You are a little bit like a petulant child at points, you know that? How far out is Peregrine?
Maybe a couple of hours, if we walk fast. It's a longer trek from there to Mazeo, though. I've never been, but I've seen maps and read books. It's not exactly my kind of place. I've never had the urge to drink ale or wine, let alone the urge to walk such a long distance.
Alright, A, so you won't share a drink with me? Or B, yeah, I don't want to drink either. I am not a big drinker, except if I go out. If I go out and there is a decent enough place, like a decent enough wine at a place, I do actually like order it. Or I should say, I used to. I have not actually been out to a restaurant. Well, actually, no. I went out to a restaurant a couple of weeks ago. Around Mother's Day, we actually went out somewhere and had a lovely outdoor dining experience. I was fully vaccinated at that point, so I just finished my 2-week period after the vaccination, after my second dose. So I was just like, oh yay, I finally can go out and do things. So we went out and ate. I had my mask on if I wasn't taking a bite, so... Yeah, no, I'm a little overcautious, though, but still, I was very happy to actually go out and have done something. So in this case, you know what? I'll switch up my decision and say, so you won't share a drink with me?
It's not that I won't. I just don't feel compelled to. Maybe I'll feel different when we actually get there. I feel like we have more pressing matters at hand.
About that argument with Fortum.
What about it?
Will things be okay between you two?
They usually are. It's not like an argument between us is anything new. With a few minutes to cool off, everything will be fine. Besides, we all know what the right choice is. I'm the most qualified person in Valinor to replace Milas. Fortum is trained to replace me. It just seems natural.
I can't tell if you're campaigning or slightly egotistical. You think you're a better fit for Elder.
Oh, of course I am. I work with Milas almost every day. I know exactly what he does. In a way, he trained me. Just like his father trained him. If you chose Fortum, there would be a learning curve. That, and I don't think he's fully qualified. Make sure not to tell him that. He'll freak out.
He's standing right over there. Why do you think Fortum isn't qualified?
His contact with Milas was minimal compared to mine. If he took over, he'd need to be trained from the ground up. But if Milas is retiring, I don't think he'd be willing to teach. And with no teacher, you need to find somebody already trained. I have a pretty good idea of what Milas does. I saw him every day. So I'm trained and ready to lead. Seems like an easy choice, right?
You saw. But were you actually trained, or did you just correspond with him on certain elements? Can I order an election to be held instead?
I'm not sure about that, actually. It would be counterproductive, though. You already have 2 perfect candidates. We're high up on Valonor's ladder. Not many people are. I also think that the villagers would support both of us. It seems like a natural succession of power to me.
Why do you think that blade gave me visions?
I've been thinking about that, actually. Not just you, but Dominic as well. Only a seer of Valnorth can have visions. Is there more to Dominic than we know? Or is there more to the blade than we know? I'd say it's the energy inside of you, but Dominic doesn't have that. Or does he? Basically, none of this makes any sense to me. We're watching the laws of Alestia be remade for us. So, if you're asking me for an answer, I really don't know. It's something we have to learn as we venture forward. But I have a feeling that this blade changes everything.
Okay. First of all, I'm coming up on the 90-minute mark, which is what I would usually use as my, stopping point. But I will go a little bit longer because what I want to do is hit Solberg, which is the last thing that I saw before I stopped. Which would also then make the rest of this, the rest of the series then just be me exploring new shit. But also, if I get out and do all of that, that means the next major story beat is at Peregrino. So I can just stop there and have a very definite, what are we supposed to do next? So I will continue for probably a little bit longer. It might be closer then to the 2 hours. For right now, let's kind of act like, while we were having that conversation, let's see what Fortim and Zamira were up to.
Hey, Zamira, about those antlers.
What about them?
You ever, hit them on a doorway? I mean, you can't be fully aware of them all the time. Yo, have you ever accidentally hit someone else with them?
I would like to see your feet. If you have rabbit feet, have you ever stubbed a toe on them?
I'm about to.
Whoa, okay, backing off. I was just curious. I've always wondered. How do you put a shirt on each morning?
What do you mean?
Well, you can't really slip clothes over your head. Those things would tear through any fabric.
I don't really have anything that slips over my head. I only wear things I can put my arms inside of first. You know, like button-ups or vests.
Right. I guess that makes sense. Sorry for annoying you. Please don't hit me.
Of course. I'll do my best for Tem, but I'm not responsible for any accidents.
Okay, now we have Fortim.
Hey.
What would you do as Elder of Valonorth?
Wait, is this like a job interview or something? I've never been very good at selling myself. First and foremost, though, I'd reconnect with the spirits. That way, Valonorth wouldn't freeze over. A lot of people forget it's the spirits that keep us warm. After that, I guess I'd focus on what to do with the people.
How would you restore our connection?
Actually, I'm not too sure about that. But we're about to go on a huge journey. I'll make sure to pay attention along the way. If the connection can be taken away, it can be given back. There's nothing that says this is a one-way street. So take care of that power until we can put it back.
Alright, we have A, alright, we'll find a way. Or B, maybe it's a lost cause for Tim. And once again here I did take the devil's advocate approach to this scene, so that's why I was like, oh, maybe it's a lost cause, because I like to do the... If we're doing a job interview, again, backups. Backup plans. Need to discuss the backup plans. Where are my glasses? Are my glasses anywhere? I don't need them, but I want them. Oh my god, it's like going in HD. I mostly have them because I'm nearsighted and have astigmatism. Or mild astigmatism. But yeah, it's like, okay, this is a lot clearer. Why didn't I not do this before? Especially if I'm working at the computer. Okay, I will go. Maybe it's a lost cause. I will do the same thing as I did last time. Maybe it's a lost cause for Tim.
What? No way. You might feel that way, but I don't. If I were the Elder, I'd do anything to save Valinor.
So you have almost the same opinion on that as Valessa. What do you mean by do with the people?
Well, we have an important choice to make. We can follow after Milas and drop our independence, or we can distance ourselves from the other nations, like always. Right now, I think unity is important. If I were the Elder, I'd band our world together. We could live in harmony and trade freely. I know I hate the trade ban they put on Mazeo, but this isn't personal. Lifting those bans and uniting the nations would create peace. Isn't that our goal at the end of this, Seer?
So we have, I agree, unity is our best choice. Or, I think our independence, or B, I think our independence is more important. Or C, I'm not sure which one I want. In this case, I will also acknowledge that, as much as I am a fan of in and out of universe globalization, there'd be problems, maybe. One has to accept that you'd have to probably encounter a few things that might change things for the negative. And especially in doing that, outlie that with the positives. I think there are more positives to out-of-universe globalization. In-universe, I don't know enough about the political structure or anything like that, and especially considering if what we're doing is going to upheave a whole bunch of shit, we have no idea exactly what's going to happen afterwards. So for right now, I think I will stick with my usual one if nobody's responding and just go, I'm not sure which one I want.
That's fine. But you will have to make a choice. Remember, circumstances dictate that you're in charge. Just something to think about as we head to Peregrino.
You know this would interfere with your hobbies, right?
You mean like cleaning and climbing trees? I guess you're right. But I like to do more than that. I always say that making people smile is my favorite. So if my work could keep an entire village happy? Well, I couldn't think of a better job if I tried. I want to be more than just a scribe in training.
Alright, we have another threesome. A. Threesome, that's a bad way of putting it. We have another three choices. A. You make a good case for him. B. But the scribe in training is very important. Or C. I don't know who to vouch for. In this case, it's kind of interesting because this is where Fortim is showing more of a slightly more intellectual side than he's come up with beforehand, outside of his books, like outside of his little writings that you can find everywhere in Valinor. So this is like, oh well, you're actually better equipped than I thought, but it's also still a little weird because I'm like, maybe, but you technically did have more training under Valessa, but then again, Valessa's a bit of an egotist in this issue, so I don't know. I am just going to say what I said last time, which is kind of an avoidance thing, but the scribe in training is very important.
I know. But the Elder is way more important. Right now, I'm stuck here unless something happens to Valessa. I'd rather rise through the ranks another way, you know?
Something happening to Valessa could be she being made Elder and not being the scribe anymore.
You two make a good duo. I'm just unnecessary at this point. But if I became the Elder, we could all work as a team. It'd be like we're a triumvirate of our own.
Why'd you make that comparison? Are you sure you're... Did I just choose this one? I forget. Are you sure you're better fit than Valessa?
I'm positive. She's doing a fine job as your scribe. Having me as the Elder would utilize my full potential. I don't mean to brag, but I spend a lot of time with Milas. As a scribe in training, I'm just held back. I don't think I'll ever need to take Valessa's position, so why not let me take another position instead? Look, all I ask is that you think about it, alright? At the end of the day, we're the two best candidates. There's no election here. The choice will rest upon you.
This is something I heard about when going into this. Can I get the power to somebody else? What do you think about Zamira?
He's pretty cool, and I dig the antlers. I can't believe I've never spent more time with him. But it makes sense, if he's always guarding the gate. Valessa seems to know more about him, actually. I guess he'll be coming with us to Museo? Milas is going to evacuate everybody soon.
Alright, we have a split decision here. A, you're right, he seems like a cool guy. Or B, do you think he can be trusted? I personally went with you think he can be trusted because literally I did not hear of him before this point, so I'm like, I don't fucking know, personally. I don't know, though. I like Zamira so far. He's given us a lot of information. So, I don't know. He's obviously being trusted with secrets that we didn't even get to hear about immediately from Milas himself. So, yeah, that's pretty big. And you know what? Since nobody responding, I'll go with you're right. He seems like a cool guy. Just do something different.
Yeah, totally. I hope he sticks with us for a while. I mean, he's a guard, so he could easily fight with us.
Well, he has not permanently joined our party yet, or he has not joined the party yet, so technically he hasn't.
Right now, we need all the help we can get. But even if he doesn't join, I'm grateful for his help. There's no way we'd make it to Peregrino on our own.
How do you feel now that we left Valinor?
Well, the surroundings are still pretty familiar. I expect it'll hit me harder once we get to Museo. I know it'll be different, but is that good or bad? There's one thing that worries me about all of this, though. We may very well run into the man that killed our parents, whether it's this Sovi guy or the General of Museo. It could even be one of those empty suits of armor, actually. The thing is, I won't know what to do when I see them. I could cry and run away, or be overtaken with rage. Don't let me do anything stupid, alright? I'm counting on you to help keep me in line.
Okay, you know what? I'll just straight up admit I haven't seen anybody in chat over the last 90 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and just go with my own answer on this one. If somebody pops up, I will obviously switch, but yeah. So you have sure thing, you can count on me. You're on your own with this one, Fortim, or... Actually, I'm not sure I'll respond either. I don't know. I'd keep Fortim in line if at all possible, so sure thing, you can count on me.
Thanks, Seer. I know I can always count on you. It's gonna be scary, but we'll face it together.
Alright, so that was it for Fortim, so let's go and check out Valessa. I want to say Valencia for some reason. Valessa and Zamira.
Hey, Zamira, what's work like?
It's a lot less exciting than you'd think. They advertise it as a position of power, busting smugglers and protecting Valinor.
And it's not like that.
No, not at all. I spend most of my day standing around. Crime in Valinor is almost non-existent.
Yep, it is a utopia. It has to go through young adult young adult novel syndrome.
Because the spirits have blessed us, right?
I guess that's one popular theory. But to be honest, I don't buy it. Spirits can't change our nature.
Nature?
Deep down inside, we're all evil. Some of us just manage it better than others. We all have our impulses. It's about controlling them.
Jesus Christ, you are a downer.
What an odd outlook.
Hey, don't deny your impulses, Valessa. If you had to steal to get by, you'd do it. Valinor is just special. Resources are everywhere. Museo has been almost completely deforested. You can't just go into the forest and find food. There's not enough natural running water either.
See, I didn't know that.
I don't blame you. Everyone in Valinor is happy. Nobody is scraping by, you know? Imagine if food was scarce. There'd be a lot more people breaking the law. Stealing it, hurting others for it, you name it.
How do you know about all of this?
I've been to Museo a couple of times. Trust me, the guards there have it much harder. They don't even know if they'll survive their shifts.
Well, what kind of fucking place is Milas sending us to then?
Oh. Wow.
So when I say the post here in Valinor is boring, I'm not really complaining, to be honest. I'd much prefer boring work to, you know, dying.
Boring work and then go off and have a drink with your friends when it's all done as opposed to dying. Yeah, definitely preferable. Alright, so that is everything for the forest, and that will unlock 2 locations now. Solberg and Peregrino. So I'm gonna go... Oh, that didn't actually take that long, so this is actually perfect. I will go to Solberg. Let's check out Solberg. As soon as we enter Solberg, we're all in shock. It's such a beautiful sight, unlike anything in Valinor. From here, it's very obvious that we're up in the mountains. The fact that Valinor's lush forests are prone to hide.
Whoa. This is amazing. I can't believe something like this was so close.
I'm surprised they don't have a neutral surprised expression for Valessa. Given the variety that they have for some other people, like Domek the Smirk hadn't come out before, like Sovi has at least 5 different ones for just anger. Of course, that seems to also be his default state, so...
And look at the spirit idol! That's so cool! Even if it's not lit up, it's still beautiful.
Milas said it went dark when the seer was born. I can't believe all that energy is inside of you.
They both look at me as if they don't understand. But I guess that's fine. We don't really know what's happening. I must have given this power for a person. Yeah. I butchered that line in 5 different directions. I must have been given this power for a purpose. But what purpose?
Hey! Race you to the idol, Valessa!
He starts running like his life depends on it. Quite the head start, if you ask me.
Hey, that's not fair.
She quickly follows after him, closing the distance. It was nice to see their spirits lifted like this. I might as well make the most of my time here. Jesus Christ, I'm hiccuping all over the place. I don't know why. Let's start by checking out the idol itself. So this is it. The idol that gave me its power. Against my will, I was chosen for this greater destiny. The last savior of Valinor. Perhaps the savior of Alestia.
I can't believe we've lost our connection with the spirits. There must be some way to get it back, right?
Are you sure we lost it, though? It's still here. Just inside of the seer.
I'm pretty sure it's not that simple. This idol has roots that reach all across Valinor. As far as I know, the seer doesn't have any roots.
Well, maybe there's a way to put the energy back. You know, after we've taken down the Triumvirate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe this is only temporary, and they'll come back. The seer won't need the power after we've won, right?
We look at each other and smile. There had to be a way to reconnect Valinor with the spirits. We had a long journey ahead of us, and plenty of time to learn how. There we go. Looks like these bridges lead to the Outlook. It's technically the exit to the rest of Alestia. A long mountain trail takes you to the mainland. The trail from Peregrino is probably safer, though. Those bridges look like they could break at any second, especially if they've been neglected for over 20 years. Speaking of which, I think there's something we can do around here. It appears that Milas has people to take care of this place. There is no other explanation for the grass being so short. If it was truly abandoned, it would almost be as tall as us.
I always knew that Milas had people guard Solberg, but I thought it was to keep the spirit idol safe. Now we know, so they don't find out it's dark.
So we weren't the first ones that he told then? The guards must have known if they stood watch all day. I can't even think of anyone Milas trusts that much.
Well, we can't hide this from the people forever. If we resettle Valinor, they'll need to know.
Anything else I can do over here? We've seen that one. I guess we just have conversation between Fortim and Valessa.
What? No fair! How did you beat me?
Even with a head start, you're no match for me. Time to throw in the towel.
Stick to climbing trees.
Oh? So you want to have a climbing race?
I'll pass, thanks.
Wait, why?
A smart person doesn't pick a battle they know they'll lose. I'm surprised you challenged me, Fortum. You know how fast I am.
Are you calling me stupid?
No, I'd never do that. Anyway, isn't the spirit idol beautiful?
That's putting it lightly. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. When it's lit up, it must be incredible.
Yeah, I'd pay almost any price to see that. But don't worry, Fortum. I'm sure there's something we can do. If we all work together, we can make that idol shine again.
Alright, we have covered everything in this area, so back to the main map, and that means next time will be Peregrino. But yeah, actually that didn't run too far over what I thought it would go. So yeah, that will be all for this time. That means I will not come back to this until next week on Friday, hopefully same time as before, about 11:30ish. In case you have not seen my Twitch schedule layout, that is the new time I will be attempting to stream. Essentially, that is when I wake up, a little bit after I wake up, because a couple of other things have popped up lately, and that just seems to be the easiest time to do it. Is weekdays at about 11:30ish. So if I'm up and I'm awake and I have enough energy to do so, I will definitely be streaming at that time a little bit more often lately. So yeah, that'll be the new schedule coming up here for the next couple of weeks at least. As always, you can go to the Twitch at DIOT_gaming if you want to get more information about when I am streaming, as well as specifics. I usually post when I'm about 30 minutes and about 5 minutes out, so you'll know specifically when I'm about to go up. I'll usually post the 30 minutes when I'm about to get prepped, and the 5 minutes when I go live and have my usual little intro music thing and start getting actually set up. So you can go onto the Twitter profile and look at that. I also need to get back into the habit of posting my YouTube videos on the Twitter. But otherwise, if you are watching this on Twitch, I do also have a YouTube channel. It should be in the links below, where I am currently uploading these every week. So this will come out not this Saturday, but next Saturday on the Twitch channel. On the YouTube channel, I mean. So you can come and look at it as a VOD, and the VODs have a link back to the Twitch channel if you want to come in. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you want to come in and participate. This is always on Fridays, and also I should mention that with regards to times, all times are Pacific. I am Pacific, I am West Coast United States, so 11:30, that is 11:30 Pacific, or I think it's, oh, I'm going to mess this up. It's either 2:30 or 3:30 if you are Eastern time, Eastern US. So hopefully I got that right, but yeah, that's approximately when I'll be doing these. So yeah, that is going to be all for right now. Thank you all so much for watching, whether it is on Twitch or on the YouTube. And until we meet again on these dusty trails, have a howling good day. Take care.